Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Dan the Law Arena, and we have an awesome special guest today. Um, he does not need an introduction, but I'm going to play an introduction anyways. You guys, probably a lot of you guys know him and love him. Just to let you know. And here we are. Here's our intro.
What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris's Custom Collectibles
of Cosplay Chris, and today
wherever you're on the world, have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. Hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.
Oh man, what an intro. I got like full nostalgic looking at that.
Yeah. So, everybody, this is Chris Stanley from Cosplay Chris. How are you doing, Chris? Thanks for being here.
Doing well, Dan. Thanks very much for having me, man. And to hello everyone that's tuning in. That was a great little edit job, man. Nice one.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I do a little editing here and there.
Yeah, just a smidge. It's very nice, man. That was great.
Thank you. So, you know, I'll be honest with you. I've been watching you ever since I think 2014.
Wow, dude, that's the year I started the channel.
Is it?
Insane. Yeah. Well, the channel was originally called Horror FX Productions, and I think I started the account in like 2006, and I was posting like Freddy Glove videos like 2010, 2011, and then it just lay dormant until 2014 when I posted the channel trailer for Cosplay Chris and changed the name. So yeah, you've been there since like Genesis. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think one of the first videos I think I remember the most is the Wolverine one, where you did what was it, the Wolverine diet, I guess it was.
Oh man, yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got Levitt here saying hey, and then we have Chris.
Hey, Levitt.
Geeky.
Hey, Chris the Geek.
What's up? So yeah, how was that diet, anyways? By the way, and
oof, my guy. Yeah, look, not smart. And like months and months later, I did like a follow-up videos essentially saying, please don't do it. But like, it was more or less to show like the drastic change you can do in like 4 weeks. And like, I had like let myself go a bit. A few things were going on in my life. But I made it work. But essentially it was just, you were starving yourself. Like you weren't getting the proper calories, nutrients. Like I got lean, but I didn't feel great.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you looked pretty good. On that.
Thanks, man. I didn't feel good.
No.
It's like when
it's
you
about
see,
looks, isn't it? Isn't that what it's supposed to be about?
yeah, that's it. It's like we see bodybuilders on stage and they're all dehydrated and they've had like 2 drops of water in 24 hours. They look their strongest, but in reality, they're actually at their weakest. And it's just, you can only maintain that for like 24 hours. And then you gotta you gotta go back to normal.
That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. So how long have you been doing cosplay?
Um, like, like officially, like calling it cosplay, like since 2013, and like my
Okay.
first proper outing was at a convention here in Sydney called Supernova, and I just did like a Christopher Nolan inspired Robin costume. It was essentially me just going on eBay and just mass buying all this cheap motorcycle armor and bashing it together, and like, yeah, that looks like something that, like, is similar to the Dark Knight suit, just like lots of plating and stuff like that. And then the following year, 2014, when I started the channel, I constructed and put together my first proper bat suit. It was like a hybrid of Batman Begins, Earth One, bit of everything. And that's when I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, I definitely want to do more of this. I want to do videos on it. But before then, like, I was always like building, sculpting, molding, casting since my last year of high school, which was 2006 when I was in year 12.
Wow.
But then like properly getting into it, yeah, like 2013, 2014, man.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. So, what inspired you to get into? I guess doing YouTube and doing all this stuff that you do on there, because you don't just do cosplay either. You also do what you call custom collectibles, which a lot of people call them kit bashing or toy bashing or whatever, right? So
Yeah, exactly, man. So, and I've obviously started the second channel now, but before that, I would also do, like movie reviews and entertainment news, but I do that solely on the second channel now. You just gotta like separate them, the build videos from the talk videos. It just makes more sense. But before that, yeah, like movie reviews and all that. But I'd see, like, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, especially the first one, that blew my mind with how good that costume looked. It was just like, that's it. It was kind of probably, I equated to when Batman 89 came out and everyone saw Michael Keaton's Batsuit and they're like, well, this changes the game. This is next level. That was for me when I saw the first Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and just seeing how sleek and seamless that Spider-Man costume was, but learning what went into making that, the webs, the textured fabric, the old school way of screen printing the fabric instead of having it sub-dyed, stuff like that. And then I think also, like bat suits as well, like from Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, as much flack as those suits cop, they are beautiful pieces of costuming. Like they're great. I love them. And then like the talkie side, I'd watch like Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, the Flick Pick, do movie reviews, talk about movies. I'm like, well, I want to do a bit of everything, which ideally in the long run is not the best idea on YouTube. You got to do one thing and one thing alone.
Right.
So
which
yeah,
to be honest,
I know, man. Can't we just all get along and do our own thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I then started the channel, doing the cosplay stuff, and then 2015, end of 2015 is when I did the first custom collectible, which was the Hulkbuster. And when you have an idea and it's been percolating in the back of your head for years, like you'll have a quick thought of it, and it disappears. It does it again. I'd go to like Toys R Us. We have a department store here called Big W. I'd also go to like Target, Kmart, stuff like that, and look at all these beautiful figures, and I'm like, man, I could, like, that needs a repaint. That'd be fun. And then I saw the Hulkbuster one day. I'm like, this is the one. I've got to get this, because look at this thing. It's huge, and it's just got so much potential. You can put the lights in, the arc reactors, and then went from there. That was the end of 2015. It blew up, and then, dude, like 2016 was like the funnest year for custom collectibles because of Batman v Superman and those Jack specific massive figures.
Yeah, those big things. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the likeness, especially the Batfleck one, the likeness was so spot on to Ben Affleck's chin. I'm like, oh man, this is so much fun. And then there were, like the little figures and stuff like that, and then doing Marvel stuff, TMNT stuff. So yeah, it's obviously I've tapered off a bit now. I'm actually finishing up a custom collectible today, a Nightmare Before Christmas one that I'll have up this week, which will be fun. So just around Halloween. So I try and do one custom collectible a month, or something like a build video once a month now, and it's worked out pretty well because that way I don't put pressure on myself with the original channel. I kind of go at my own leisurely pace, but still uploading regular content on the new channel. So it's been a wild ride, man.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So, hmm, what is your? I don't know. How would I say that? Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. Um, so what is your like? What? Okay, I got the question. What and like did you see somebody else paint another toy, or did you see something similar to that for when you got into doing those custom collectibles? Or did you just kind of already have it in the back of your head and you're just like, I'm gonna go for it and that's that?
I think it was both, to be honest, man. I'd see like photos like just passing around on the internet, and I did actually Google custom Hulkbuster, the Hasbro Titan Hero series,
Ah, okay.
and yeah, Google images popped up with a bunch of repaints. I'm like, all right, so this is totally doable, and you can make it look good. So I think that was the hit of inspiration, last bit of inspiration I needed before I bought it, and then got all the paints and started filming. Love it ever after, one project at a time for sure. Absolutely, yeah, spot on. Because I'm a bit of a scatterbrain sometimes, where I'm trying to do actually at the moment, you try and do a talkie video on the new channel, build video. We're working on Uncharted at the moment, so
Mhm.
it can be very like tricky, but you've also kind of got to like take a step back, take a deep breath, and be like, what am I focusing on today? And just one thing alone. And if I've got time, start on something else or continue work on something else.
Right. I, I hear you there. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's fun. Now, have you ever thought of now? Okay, on our channel here, we do a once a month show called the Review. It's kind of like the View, but not really. It's just a
Oh, yeah.
bunch of geeky talk. Um, and I have a lot of guys on there that build their own Star Wars build rooms.
Hmm.
They have like rooms that look like Star Wars spaceships. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's fun. Have you ever thought of maybe doing something a little bigger? Maybe like, I don't know, just a little bigger, I guess. Like as in creating a wall or a room that just is inspired and just one thing. Like they do Star Wars. Maybe your thing would be a Freddy scene. I don't know, on your wall. I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah, the dream is there. So in 2.5 weeks' time, my fiance and I are moving apartments.
Okay.
Thankfully, it's somewhere bigger. So we rent, and don't get me wrong, I would love to have more stuff plastered on the walls, but because we're renting, I
Right.
can't. But with the good thing about our new apartment is, we got an extra room, an extra bathroom, so more space for me. So I'm not doing my fiance's head in,
Okay.
because
Right.
this is our study, and we share this study, and it's pretty small. But then I'll have a whole study just dedicated to me, so I can have a proper setup instead of just a corner here. Whereas, like right here is just like a cupboard, and no one wants to see a bloody cupboard in the video. It's just a corner at the moment. But like with
Right.
the new study, I can angle it, so I've got like a whole feature wall. But if I had my exactly, sorry, real Wade,
Okay.
Nation Gaming Clips, Man Cave. So it would be a mixture of a bat cave, but also like horror statues, life size Freddy. I've got my life size Chucky,
Nice. Yeah.
Jason, Michael. So you got like the bat cave with the armory and stuff like that. Like I'm in BVS, how the bat suits
Okay.
in that cylinder vault.
Oh, there you go.
Um,
That'd be cool.
or whereas some people love the Dark Knight look, how the vault pops out from the ground and you got the armory in a cage. And so
Right.
different strokes for different folks. So it would be one side Batman, the other side horror, and I would make it so you either tip a book in the library and a door opens and you
Oh,
go on
that'd be
down.
sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
That'd be cool. I guess that being said, what do you do with the costumes you make? Um, do you display them? Do you still have them? Do you reuse them? Like, what's the typical thing you do for your cosplays? With
Honestly, it
costumes?
depends, man. Some I still have in storage at my folks' place. I'm actually headed over there after this to do some. I do all the big, dirty, dusty work at mum and dad's because that's where the workshop still is.
Okay.
Whereas, oh, real waiter, sub to Chris. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Whereas like finer stuff like painting, no spray painting and stuff like that, I can do it here in our kitchen and just set the camera up on our kitchen island and go for it.
Okay.
So there are a lot of cosplays in storage at mum and dad's. I've got a few bits and pieces like hanging around here. Others where I feel like I'm at peace with the photo shoot, the video shoot, and all that. And if it means funding the next project or next cosplay, I sell it. And I'd rather it go to a good home where it's going to be worn, taken care of, displayed. Not to say I wouldn't take care of it here, but I just don't want it sitting in storage if I know it goes to a good home, but I can also fund the next project because it can get quite pricey, especially anything Batman, like armor.
Oh, yeah, look at all your Batman suits.
Oh, man, yeah, look, capes, cowls, boots, utility belts, it all adds up. It's crazy. So, yeah, some I keep. Like stuff that's civilian clothing is easy to store. You just put it in your drawer, hang it up in your wardrobe, whereas armor, it's bulky and it takes up space. You got to get those big plastic Tupperware containers that lock and yeah, so a bit of both, man. Some like the latest one, the Batman suit, the hybrid Pattinson Batman suit is now in LA with a friend of mine who's a collector. The Wolverine suit that I did last year, that's in the States now.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like you get when people get them, they send photos. And I'm like, geez, you wear that really well. That's good. But it's good. It's gone to a good home.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, do you still have because a lot of people still they like pirates. I like pirates. Batman's cool. Do you still have that cool mashup of pirate Batman that you made?
I do. That is the one I have held on to for the longest time because Pirate Batman is my baby.
Nice. I should post some pictures here. I know I got it.
Pirate Batman's so much fun to do, man. Especially at a con, you kind of can just like, yeah, there he is. There he is, the dude.
I love it. Now, how did you come up with this? I mean, what inspired you to do that?
I saw a Facebook article someone shared, and it was an artist who did, or different artists, sorry, who did different interpretations of Batman through the ages. You had Knights of the Round Table Batman, futuristic Batman, which is, sort of like Batman Begins. But then there was one, it was a crude sketch, and it was Pirate Batman. And it was very different to the final suit, but I'm like, oh. But then there was also Leatherwing. He appeared a couple of times in the comics in the early 90s, I think. And it was Pirate Batman, but it was more swashbuckling with the bandana, the big earring, and, army hurties. But, like, pretty, like, beefy looking and, like, nice. But I'm like, I want to go full realistic. Like, Batman's not going to have a clean set of teeth, so I'm going to have dirty teeth. I want, with the cowl, a big scratch through it, and, like, this eye is like blind, or he's half blind, and just make it really worn, dreadlocks, and have the dreadlocks tell a story, like just essentially like if Jack Sparrow and Batfleck had a baby.
Right. I was actually gonna say that it's almost like a Jack Sparrow style.
Yes.
With the dreadlocks, and I mean, not the whole thing, obviously, but. Yeah, no.
Love it ever after said could do a Mad Max Batman. Absolutely. I don't know about you, love it. I equate the Nightmare Batman Batfleck look from BVS to Mad Max. That, like, I would love to see a whole film just dedicated to that timeline, the Nightmare timeline.
That would be sweet. That would be cool.
They had the chance, man. They had the chance.
Do you think anybody would try to do that, or?
There we go. Now we're talking.
You'd have to would you have to have Ben Affleck back? That's the question.
Oh man, he was so good as Batman, and like especially just his presence. Like he's a big guy out of the suit. put a bat suit on him, and he's a beast, and he just looks so good in that nightmare sequence. David M. Arena, hello, mate.
Ah, that's my brother. What's up, bro?
Yeah, man, I think, and even like, because you know how they did that additional scene for Zack Snyder's Justice League with Leto?
Yeah.
I love that. Like, I feel like Leto sort of redeemed himself. He wasn't as annoying as he was in
Right.
Suicide Squad.
And
Affleck
you
hadn't
did a
missed a
costume
beat.
like that.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, there we go. Jeez. Look at that. I got that crazy look in my eyes.
You do.
Yeah, look, I think you definitely couldn't. Look, you could give it a go, but I think like you need Batfleck, man, and it's a shame he didn't get his own solo film.
That would have been nice. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what he wanted to do, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not.
I think there was
but-
too much studio interference, and he just didn't like where it was going, and that's what I love about him. He's a filmmaker's filmmaker. Like, he gets involved in every step of the way because he knows the behind the camera side, being a director. He knows the tech behind cameras. And I feel like a lot of that was taken out of his hands. So he's like, well, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Which sucks, which really sucks, because, you know, he could have been oh so good. That solo movie could have been oh so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Ben Affleck's great at acting, you know. I mean, he's not like the best, but you know, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I remember him in like Dogma and all the Silent Bob movies.
I love Dogma. Dogma doesn't get enough love.
That's when he first started, isn't it? Back
and like
in
the whole
those
Chasing
old days.
Amy era, School Ties. Yeah.
It's crazy. And he was chubby back then. I remember
Yeah. He was like, had that like chubby angelic face.
Right. So when you do your cosplays, how do you stay in shape? That's a good question.
It's just, I think, like, just I try to not sit still and always keep moving. And the more you learn about how much the body hates sitting still, it's essentially like leaving your car in idle. Keep moving. Just look, I'm not super strict with what I eat. I still enjoy, you know, a few glasses of red wine, you know, a good pizza, but I make sure to balance it out. So like if that's dinner, what I eat before then isn't going to be as heavy as that meal, or the next day I make sure I have a heavy train or do some extra cardio. So it's just all balanced, man. I think also because if you restrict yourself of the, you know, the nice things in life, you know, there'd be a nice glass of wine, a nice ice cold beer, a burger, just a good old burger. It's not good for your mental health, and it's not going to hurt you. Like if you're pounding them every day, yeah, that's a bit of a cause for concern. But I feel like just balance, dude. Balance, and you can make it up later and just, you know, go extra hard the next day, and you work for it. You definitely work for it. But also, like, pending on the cosplay, like Whiplash from Iron Man 2, I had to really lean down for that. But then like Wolverine, oh, there we go. Nice. And then Wolverine last year, I tried to pack on as much size as I could. And even what's his name, Ghost from, oh my god, when I worked with Ubisoft back in 2019, I had the full marine beard and all that, and like I got as big as I could, and I was having like bacon and egg rolls every morning for breakfast, but just lifting just stupid weight. Like I wasn't lean or anything, but you know when Marines are just big burly dudes,
right? Yeah.
Just like that. And then, you know, as soon as the cosplay's done, the shoot's done, I just go back to normal. But like I regardless whether it's a cosplay or not, I try to train at the gym like 5 days a week, and sleep as well, man. My god, sleep is like one of the biggest keys to keeping in shape.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
much
Like,
about sleep.
oh man, look, lately with how busy I am, I feel you. But yeah, with recovery, like sleep is key.
Ah, gotcha. That's good.
Yeah,
I should probably get back into a good sleeping routine myself.
preaching to the choir, man.
Yep. Hmm. So, yeah. So a few, what was it, a year, maybe 2 years ago, you got to meet the guy who played Spawn, right? And you got to be in a movie. How did that go?
That was in. Oh, there he is. Look at that beautiful man, Mr. Michael Jai White. 2018, I was a guest at a con up in the Gold Coast, which is the state above me in Queensland, and he was a guest there. I was Captain America, and I was doing like a superhero parade. And my oldest friend, we've known each other since year three, 1997, who's actually in the Uncharted movie. My friend Josh, he was a fan too because we used to watch Spawn when we were little kids, and he was up there. We're like, let's go get a photo with him and get an autograph. So we got a photo with him. I tagged him, and Michael Jai White started following me, and he messaged me. He goes, "Hey man, we're about to start a campaign for my new film, The Outlaw Johnny Black. Do you want to be a part of it and promoting it? And we'll try and tee something up." I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, don't worry about it. I'm a fan, dude. And it's cool to see you doing another movie. Like, I love Black Dynamite. I love everything he's done. He's such a cool bloke. And then I did a video on my main channel being like, Outlaw Johnny Black, da-da-da. They got the crowdfunding. And then there was just nothing for a while. And I just like pre-production, things go quiet. And then cut to the following year, I get an email from Mahershala. Anyway, she was one of the producers on the film. And she goes, "Oh, can we have a call?" I'm like, "You're in the States." She goes, "Yeah, yeah." So I had a call, and I was about to go into a lunch, some drinks and some and lunch with my family, and I'm outside of the restaurant. She goes, "Okay, we got to organize your flights," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's just like this delightful, like she was like a nurturing mom. She goes, "Oh, honey, Michael wants you to be an extra in the film for all the work you've done." I'm like, "What?" So yeah, we figured all out, got flights organized. I had a friend to stay over with in LA, which was great, and she drove me to the ranch, which was like 45 minutes from where she lived in North Hollywood, where they were filmed there for 2 days. I remember I met her when I got out of the car. She came up, we introduced, hugged, kissed. It was just nice to finally meet her because we stayed in touch for the months leading up to it. And she goes, "We'll get you in costume." They got me in costume. They put a big dirty mustache on me, glued that down, did my hair, makeup, all that, gave me sideburns, and then took me down to the main drag, which was their main street of the town where like the film's based around. And there's Michael Jai White just sitting in a chair with a smoothie, just with his big mustache, Outlaw Johnny Black, just looking around, just enjoying the peace and quiet between like setting up. And she brought me over and she goes, "Michael, this is Chris." And he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "good to finally meet you." And I was just like quivering. I'm like, this is Al Simmons. This is Gamble from The Dark Knight. And he's just so chill. Having a big chat, and like he took like 15 minutes out of his day to have a proper chat with me, and then he had to put his coat on and go film some stuff. But throughout the day, when we'd break, because we were filming this scene in a bar, and that's I'm playing the barkeep. We'd go outside while they're resetting stuff, and Michael would just come around to each group of people and just have a chat with us. And I even quizzed him about Heath as the Joker, working with him, and he was very open about that. He was very nice to go into detail about that. It's just so cool, man. It was so inspiring and just a good experience. And yeah, now the film's finally out. Like, my God, it seemed like a lifetime ago, and it's finally out. So I've only been able to see it through means that aren't legal. Because it's not coming out in cinemas here. Like we're not getting it here in Australia. So I'm like, well, screw it. I want to just see my bit. So I just did a cheeky torrent. I've deleted the torrent now because I'm like, surely it'll be coming out on streaming soon, and then I can get a proper copy of it. Yes, saw me. I was in frame with him, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm a happy man.
Nice. That's cool. That's very cool. How was the movie, by the way? Did you watch the whole thing, or were you just kind of skipping
I'm half
around looking for?
I'm halfway through it, man, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's got those comedic timings, and he's a very funny comedic performer as well, Michael Jai White. But yeah, it's great. Just a good old wacky western. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
It's like two
Yeah.
and a bit hours, so it's a long movie.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love westerns. Westerns are one of my favorites. I've been into watching like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly lately. Those
Oh,
style
nice.
with Clint Eastwood, and that's just I don't know. There's something about them. They're older, and it's like there's not a lot of dialogue in them, but it's like
Mm.
there's something about just watching it. I don't know. It's interesting.
Even do you like Tombstone?
Yes, I like
Yeah.
Tombstone. Yeah.
Tombstone, great man. Like, what does Val Kilmer play? Doc Holliday.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Just the characters in that are just so well done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. There's only one gripe I have with that movie, and we've reviewed the movie actually a couple of times, I think, on this channel, and there's only one real big gripe of mine is the slow motion part where oh gosh, what's his name? One who plays Wyatt Earp. I can't even think of his name.
Not Kurt.
Russell. Yeah.
Kurt
Yeah.
Russell. Yeah, yeah.
It's the slow motion part. He just like when he screams no and he shoots the gun. I don't know. There's something off about it. It's just weird to me. Just because I don't know. I don't know why. But to me, my opinion, that's the only gripe I have of the whole
At least it's only one little bit, not the whole movie.
Exactly. That's true. All right, so I guess Wade wants to ask you a question.
Yep.
How long does it take to make a costume?
Ooh, it depends, man. Like if it's something like, say, for example, Nathan Drake, where it's like clothing, and not armor, like a week or two, pending how long stuff takes to arrive. If you can't find it at the shops, you got to buy it online. That's like sometimes the longest part is waiting. If stuff comes from China, the States, UK, Mexico, wherever. And then after that, it's just like weathering, distressing. You might have to add stuff, take stuff away. So like it can range from a week up to Samurai Spawn took a year because of and that was because I was going at my leisurely pace, man. From day one when I started Samurai Spawn, I'm like, there's no mandate on this. I will finish it when I feel like it. So there were times, Wade, where like I'd put Samurai Spawn away for like 6 months. So it's just
nice.
like if you wanted to add it up, like Samurai Spawn probably took me 4 months, but a lot was trial and error too. Like the Witcher armor went through a lot of prototypes and patterning because it was all like EVA foam, like yoga mat foam, and then you glue down like a vinyl that looks like leather texture. Because if you use real leather, it's going to cost an absolute arm and a leg. Whereas yoga mat foam or EVA foam is cheap. It's forgiving. You can heat it and form it, and you can carve stuff into it. You can even like heat it and print texture on it to make it look like leather. And it's very forgiving. It's strong once it's glued together. If you get a good contact adhesive, it's strong. But the Witcher took me about a month and a bit. So it can range, man. Again, a week to months. Yeah.
I do have a picture of the Witcher costume right here. You're riding a horse.
There we are on Diesel. Diesel, a big, beautiful horse.
He's Clydesdale, isn't he?
I thought he was. He does have a proper name, but yeah, Diesel suffers from a neurological disorder called Stringhalt. So he ate one too many daffodils, I think it was, or dandelions, and his back legs would like flail out. It's a neurological condition from the stuff that's in dandelions. And anyway, Karen, who owns Diesel, she has heavy horse heaven, rehabilitated him, changed his diet, and now just one of his back legs now and then has a little spasm, but he was fine. He was fine to be on as well. I was more or less worried about me because of that armor. It restricts you like being comfortable. You're kind of like propped up like the Tin Man, and you're like.
That's funny.
Lovett's asked the question.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Handsome horse. He really is. He is a beast of a horse. He's huge. What was a costume that was cool in concept but just didn't pan out when you put it together? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say Eddie Munson. Yeah, I'm gonna say Eddie Munson. And I jumped on the bandwagon of Eddie Munson because I fell in love with him when I watched Stranger Things. I researched everything that went into his costume, even the vintage stuff that the costumers had sourced for the production. I did a cosplay breakdown or a cosplay guide video on how to cosplay as Eddie. And I debuted it in Canada last year at HowlCon, got the wig, everything. And I remember just putting it all on. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I fit this. And it was kind of not embarrassing, but it was just like, geez, all this work and getting the jacket with all the patches on it and everything. I was like, it's now hanging up in my wardrobe. And I look at it now and then, I'm like, ugh.
That's
so
funny.
yeah, love it. Eddie Munson. Yeah.
I had to look that up real quick to see who that was. I think I did see a picture of you in that costume, but I don't think you had the wig on. It was just your regular.
Love it. Interesting. At least you tried. I mean, yeah, that's it. And that's the thing. Sometimes, love it. Sometimes you got to try to realize not for me or never again.
This is true.
Yeah.
I guess on the same page, what about a toy or something, or a little prop or something that you made that didn't work out?
Oh, okay. So it's still under because our bed has those storage drawers under it, and it's still in one of the storage drawers. So I don't know if you've seen on like Instagram or something, man. People get Dragon Ball Z figures and paint them with all the shading and the thick black lines to make it literally look like the animation has
cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
Some of them are phenomenal. And I'm like, wow. And like they move it, and even moving the angle doesn't distort the illusion. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had this old Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure in storage. I'm like, I'll repaint that. I went out, spent a buttload of money on high-end, thick-bodied Liquitex acrylic paints. And I started filming, started painting it. And the more I did it, I'm like, this is not going to turn out. This is awful. This is awful. And I did the base shading, started doing more shading, and then started doing the harsh, thick black lines on the high top edges of the figure. And it looked awful. Like, it looked awful. And I remember I just stopped. I wiped the memory card on my camera, and I'm like, I'm not doing that ever again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was. I wouldn't say it was. It's a bit over the top saying it was a dark day, but it was one of those days where I just like felt really just awful, and I'm like beating myself up, and I'm just like, leave that to the pros. Like, you're not gonna get it you're not gonna get it first off like right out of the gate. Like, the guys that are pros have probably screwed up so many times and wasted so many figures, wasted a lot of paint.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it just wasn't worth it, man. Like, to put all the time and effort in to perfect it for one video, like you most times out of 10, you shouldn't think about the money, but yeah, sometimes you do.
Oh, of course. I think most people think about the money, you know.
Yeah.
My mom says hello.
Oh, is that your mom?
Yep.
Hey, Mom.
It's my mom. Yeah, I've seen that done on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. That, and I always thought that was cool. Obviously, I couldn't do something like that, but
Oh, it's tricky, man. It's a whole nother art form. It's just you need a lot of patience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's the thing. I don't have patience. I want everything
You
yesterday.
see, right? You seem like you got some patience though. You know, making your costumes and stuff. It seems like your patience is a little bit more tolerable than others.
That's where editing comes into play.
Ah, gotcha. You throw a lot of things, right?
Oh, mate. Oh, dude. Like back in the day at mum and dad's, when something wouldn't work out, I've thrown stuff at walls. Just a typical brooding artist. I'm like, ah. But I make sure no one is around if I chuck a tantrum.
Right.
And then I get it out of my system, and I'm like, okay, time to move on.
Time to move out. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Ah, fun. Well then, I didn't even notice the time. We are 40 minutes in. Let me do a quick commercial break for
Cool.
people that are watching. All right, everybody. Commercial break.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Oh, it's beautiful.
That was great.
There we go. That is it, everybody. Merchandising. Don't forget to buy your stuff over at InsideTheBoothTV.com/shop. If you like what we do here on this channel, support us. We also have a Patreon page and PayPal. And then obviously, if you like what we do here and you like what Chris does here, well, because he's here today. If you like what Chris does on his channel, go ahead and check out all this stuff in the description box below. I put most of his stuff, social media, YouTube. I think you can find things. I think you had an Etsy at one time, but I'm not sure if you still do.
I have a new one.
Do you have a new one? Okay.
Yeah. The good folks over at Warner Brothers decided to terminate my old one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a bad morning, man. My fiance and I had just boarded a plane to fly down to Melbourne for the premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I was excited, had a coffee in hand, and right before, because you got to switch your phone to airplane mode before you take off. Right. Just about to switch it to airplane mode. I'm like, I'll just check my emails just to see if there's anything. Anyway, message from Etsy. We've terminated your store due to copyright infringement from Warner Brothers for Batman stuff. And I'm like, what? With that, the plane starts taxiing back. And I'm like, oh my God, man. So yeah, I started a new account, and it's pretty a new Etsy account under a new email, and it's just called Props by Chris, but it's just horror stuff now, dude. I don't risk it with Batman stuff. It's too big. Whereas horror stuff flies under the radar, but with horror stuff, there's usually one time a year when you have a busy season. So
right. And that would be about this time of year.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But other parts of my work have been affected at the moment because of the strikes in LA. Like I can't take on paid campaigns from a struck studio at the moment because I do intend to join the Screen Actors Guild down the line. And you have to stand in solidarity, so you can't take on paid campaigns. So yeah, it's been a bit of a gut punch to the old income, but you just make do, and it's not forever, but it's still frustrating.
Right. Well, you got YouTube, for now.
Sure.
I don't know what else you do, but you got YouTube. Yeah. Also, everybody out there, if don't forget to subscribe to the channel, vanquish the like button, and always
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
That is so you get notified for more content that we post.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's about it. Yeah. Commercial break over. It's always fun to do commercial breaks, I guess, with my guests.
You're the first one I've ever seen do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like properly like that, like on a live one. I've seen like one, and it's like a sponsored bit. But yeah, like to actually cut to it halfway through, that's kind of cool. It's like legit.
Yeah, yeah, legit, man.
Yeah, it's totally legit.
That's so that people are mesmerized by the talk already. So then when you do the commercial, they have to sit through it, and then you got to finish your talk after. So I don't know. I think in the past though, people have clicked off when the commercial goes on, and then they come back.
It's been known to happen, man. It like out of like protests with a non-skippable ad, people will just click off the video.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. YouTube algorithms have changed tremendously, probably since you've even started YouTube. I know they've changed a lot since, obviously YouTube started completely back in, what was it, 2006 ish, when YouTube was like just starting. I remember that because I used to post things. I didn't post a lot, but I posted like I have an old channel, and I posted stuff because I used to do videos for my church, and so I would just like post like 6 things all at once and be like, oh, I hope somebody watches it. But I guess that's not how YouTube worked, and I didn't know that.
It seems like such a different time. It's like the prehistoric days back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you got to have like scheduled times and scheduled everything. Like almost like a TV show.
100%. Yeah, man. And you got to keep to that schedule. Otherwise, Uncle Algorithm's not going to like that. No.
Yeah. And if you talk about something different than what you usually talk about, they also don't like that. And it's strange. It's strange.
No.
That's what the bell button's for, everybody. So, yeah. It is one interesting YouTube journey out there. So, Chris, what I know you have a kind of like a fan film coming out. Tell us about that. That's Uncharted, correct? About a video game character.
Yep. So it's the 18th of October now. On the 4th of November, Uncharted: The Oxus Redemption releases. So it's a high-end fan film based on the Uncharted games. Ours takes place right after the events of Uncharted 4. Goes for about an hour. So we had a preview screening down in PAX the other weekend in Melbourne, which was great. We had the first 15 minutes of the film followed by a new trailer. Audience loved it. And yeah, we just want to do something that, kind of answers what happened last year with the Tom Holland film. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun like adventure romp, but to me it wasn't Uncharted. And also, given the fact that we haven't had a proper adaptation of these characters, and Naughty Dog and the original creators of Nathan Drake and Sully and all that have just done such a good job keeping these characters so grounded and well-rounded as well, and well-written. So we're trying to incorporate that in with a bit of Persian culture, Persian mythology, Persian treasure with our new villain. So yeah, man, it's been a wild ride for the last couple of months. Like Nathan Drake has just consumed me. But yeah, in like 2 and a bit weeks, we've got the premiere here in Sydney. We've rented out a cinema for family and friends, and then that's on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, it releases online on my second channel.
Oh, sweet. Well, I'll be there to watch it. Are you going to play it live, or is it you're just going to premiere it? I mean, yeah.
Sure. I'm not like too sure yet.
Okay.
I haven't thought about that, whether to premiere it or just hit upload and it's public.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's like it's actually been kind of a blessing with the strikes going on, focusing more time on Uncharted. At the moment, Daniello and Sarah, the directors, and myself are getting like marketing material out at the moment just to keep everyone's interest percolated in it whilst it's lead up to the actual release.
Right. So, I guess question a little kind of off subject, but kind of similar. Since you mentioned the strikes, I had a stuntman on last month named Chris Romero, and he believes the strikes are partially a good thing right now. I kind of do too, in a way, just because I think a lot of the little guys that are making films or fan films and just making stuff now, they're able to kind of rise up a little bit now because the mainstream people are kind of out of the way for the moment anyways. It doesn't mean that they're going to be out of the way forever, but what do you think about that? Do you think it can kind of be a good idea, or I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's good that the actors who are part of SAG that aren't A-listers, that working 9-to-5 jobs, waiting tables, are hopefully going to get the pay that they deserve. And the whole thing with AI scanning actors for backgrounds and never paying them again is just not right. That's all well and good for them. It's not good for me in my case. I'm not even a part of SAG and I'm caught in the crossfire, but I have to stand in solidarity. So it is frustrating. But then also at the same time, we can still work on Uncharted because we're not funded or associated with a studio. We're independent, so we can still do our thing. We can still have the premiere. So we're thankful we can still do all of that. But for the people that are part of SAG that aren't A-listers, it's going to be good for them when they finally get what they're entitled to, and also the fact that hopefully background actors aren't going to be scanned and just have a one-off payment and then never be paid again, considering that after they're long gone, their likeness is still used. It's just kind of very intrusive. But yeah, look, it's each end of the spectrum, man. It has its pros, but it definitely has its cons. But that was so close last week in hitting a deal, but hopefully soon, man.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool. Well, I hope you do soon too, as well. Yeah, neat. What else do you got coming up?
What else have I got coming up? Ooh, I've got a very cool Superman themed cosplay unboxing, breakdown, and reveal coming in probably a month or two.
Is it the Nicolas Cage one?
No, it's Mr. Christopher Reeve.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
Even better.
Yeah. And then apart from that, I'm also currently working on a 1-to-1 scale Michael Jai White Spawn bust, which would be good. I'll be molding that when it's 3D printed, doing resin casting, so I'll be having a video out on that. Apart from that, man, just kind of riding the wave of Uncharted until we see it through when it premieres, and then we're all going to have a break. And then we're going to get to work on our next project early next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, I did have one more question that I was going to ask earlier, but just not thought of it again. Since you're in Australia, what do you think about that movie Ned Kelly with Heath Ledger?
Oh, I love it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Is it based on the true events that they say it is, or?
Yeah, they tried to get it as close as they could to the events surrounding the Kelly gang, and the firefight and all that, and what eventually led to him being hung. Yeah, look, they got it pretty close. Heath was a pretty good casting choice. And yeah, that armor is, I forget which museum it's in. It's on display somewhere in Australia. I've always wanted to go see it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's kind of like I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, we had like a proper vigilante back in the day with armor and all that. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, regardless of the tin can on his head.
Right. You should cosplay as that. There you go.
I know, right? Maybe like a more armored up, like the bat mech suit Batfleck, but the version of Ned Kelly.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool. So yeah, fun fact: Ned Kelly was my very first DVD that I bought when
No
DVDs
way.
were coming out. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting.
What
And
did
I
you pay?
loved
Like
watching.
$60 for that thing?
Yeah, pretty close. How much were DVDs back then? Like 25, I think. I think it was
Oh
25
man.
bucks.
My
Yeah.
first one was Edward Scissorhands, and I bought it in year 8. That was 2002, and it cost me in Australian dollars $35. So I think like
Oh, wow.
25 USD.
Oh,
It's
wow.
insane.
Yeah, yeah. That is crazy. Yeah. Um, that's crazy.
Mm.
I think I have basically all the questions asked. I don't know if anyone else has questions. I don't know if you have anything else. What would your inspiration be for somebody who's wants to get into doing what you do, like custom collectibles or cosplaying?
Like
What would
advice
you,
for them?
yeah, like advice,
Yeah, man.
words, or whatever.
I think never make it a chore. Do it because you want to do it, and know when to recognize the signs of you're burning out or you're not interested, and it's okay to walk away for a bit, come back with a fresh set of eyes, especially when it comes to like art or something you're working on, man. It could even be video work, like editing. Like editing can be a tough slug enough as it is.
Oh yeah.
And some days you're like, I got to close my laptop, go for a run, go for a train, just hang out with my dog, hang out with my fiance, or just go do something else. And then you
Right.
come back to it and you're like, okay, that's better. Let's go. So yeah, I think just have fun with it, ride the wave, man. Because yeah, life's short. Like I come from an area of Sydney where predominantly you're supposed to be a labourer, or if you're if you're a woman, you're supposed to work in admin, and you're just supposed to stick to that, and that's it. Or a mechanic, and yeah, not for me, not for me. Yeah, I tell some people in my area where I live what I do, and they're like, "What? Like how?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man." And it's not a knock against people being who are laborers or mechanics. Like,
Right.
you know, they're the backbone of you know, well,
Yeah.
like living. So
Of society, yeah. Basically.
yeah, but it's just not for me, man. I come from a theatrical and performing family, so we've always got
Okay.
that theatrical streak to us. Yeah. Chris the Geek, 1883, dude. It's funny you mentioned that. I want to cosplay Batman Gotham by Gaslight eventually. So I just mentioned we're going to be working on our new project next year. Who I did Uncharted with.
Mm.
Well, I'll let you put 2 and 2 together. I won't say anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, but and Chris the Geek for you as well. This thing is going to be like a grim fairy tale, like dark.
Nice.
So that's all I'll say. We're just starting pre-production and planning. It won't be as long as Uncharted because there's a lot more going into it, like costume-wise, set-wise, whereas Uncharted, you just wear clothes like this. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to design a whole new bat suit. That'll be fun. So yeah, Chris the Geek, one of our biggest inspirations also was Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. I say no more.
Nice. That's cool. You should also do like a short film with your pirate Batman. Just my opinion.
That's also in the works too, man. And that's
oh
my god, that's been in the pipeline for so long. So yeah, that's in the pipeline too, because down in Darling Harbour, there's an old pirate ship that still actually goes out on the harbour that you can rent.
Oh, really?
Like,
oh, that's
why
cool.
don't we utilize that? So yeah, like it'd be great to be on that. And yeah,
goodness. If I had the money, I'd be there. I'd help you out.
Oh man, you're too good. Too good.
That'd be cool. No, I like pirate stuff is fun. It's like
it is.
the theatrical part of pirates is fun.
100%.
The real stuff, I'm not sure, but you know. Fun, cool. Well, you know what? It's an hour, so I guess we can say goodbye to our chat, our stream. Thanks for coming, Chris. We really appreciate it. We'd love to probably have you back, and maybe we could review a movie together or something.
Yeah, Dan, absolutely. Thank you for having me, man. It's been nice just chatting and shooting away, and to everyone else that joined in on the chat, thank you, and thank you for being so sweet.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, as we go out, I think I'm gonna play that video I made again. That'll be the outro as well as the intro.
Smart, man, smart.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good.
What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris's Custom Collectibles
of Cosplay Chris, and today
Guys, wherever you're on the world, have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. Hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.